Music, snacks, and more.
Yo, what's up? It's your main man Juan right here, creator of partnerwithjuan.com. Yes, early morning, Wednesday. Beautiful day, beautiful week, beautiful year, beautiful a lot of things. Wanted to tap in with my Exitus Elite family. Wanted to share a quick story with you guys of an amazing conversation I had with somebody yesterday, a rideshare driver who I end up bringing on the team, the Exitus family. So welcome, Michelle. We talked for over an hour on the phone. We had an incredible strategy call, and I just want to just take a few minutes with you guys to give you guys some insight, just a few things to kind of think about on what potentially a digital high-ticket platform can give you, right? And that includes elements of a stress-free life. So we're going to get right into it, guys. For those of you that are doing research on Exitus Elite, absolutely incredible. I appreciate your decision to search. Perhaps somebody sent you this video. Either way, if somebody sent you this video, be sure to thank them, because you're watching this video for an absolute reason. If you want to know how to position yourself to make $100 to $500 to $1,000 to $2,000 plus or more per day, we're not going to talk about that on this video. I'm going to leave some resource links right below this video to help you guys absolutely supercharge your life. So take a look at those right below, or you can visit partnerwithjuan.com. Any serious inquiries, reach out to me, guys, on my direct line, 323-238-5005. That telephone number hasn't changed in 2 decades. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into it. A lot of gig workers, a lot of rideshare, quote unquote, drivers, etc., are just looking for different paths to success, guys. They really are. I spoke with Michelle yesterday, who's been driving since right before COVID, into 2018, beginning of 2019, and she shared some crazy stories with me. Some of the stories she shared with me were both kind of terrifying. I mean, really, to say the least, you know. And I don't know what's worse, guys. I don't know if it's driving around with a complete stranger in your car, and having an issue where that particular individual doesn't want to get out or pay or whatever the case may be, you know. I don't know if that's worse, or getting stranded somewhere in the middle of the night in an area that you're really not familiar with, and you're having to deal with car troubles and whatnot. One of the stories she explained to me was she was actually doing a ride with a client or customer, whatever you want to call it, right? Like an Uber style, Lyft style ride. So Michelle spent a few years delivering food, the whole Walmart, Spark, whatever they call that. You know, there's different programs out there depending on where you live. I'm over here in SoCal. So, you know, drivers are everywhere, guys. And they follow, they're easily identifiable because they follow a certain pattern, you know. And one of those, I think one of those patterns is they don't ever really seem to be joyful or happy. You know, you see them running in the Starbucks, you know, and you're like, oh, that's a driver. that's a gig worker, you know. Or you see them rushing here, rushing there. You see them waiting in front of like food places like McDonald's and things of that nature. And these people never appear to seem to be happy, right? There's always always appears to be some kind of issue going on with what it is that they're doing, you know. And a couple of examples that Michelle and I talked about were people canceling rides, people running weird, you know, unorthodox scams. Yeah, these things are real things. These things are going on, guys. I mean, for those of you that have experienced any of these things, post them down in the comments, because, you know, people need to understand and be fully aware of what their actual options are. And that's why I created this channel. That's why I create these videos every day for you guys. I want you guys to understand that there's simply more. There's more for you to do. There's more for you to earn. There's more for you to make without necessarily having to, you know, sacrifice everything, including your automobile, your maintenance, etc., right? I want you guys to imagine for a second getting plugged in to a high ticket business, right? That you can actually do and operate from anywhere. As long as you have an internet connection, you can operate from any mobile device, right? Any computer, tablet, laptop. I want you guys to imagine for a second what it would be like to earn, I'm not even gonna use big numbers here, guys, to earn an extra $500 a week, which is relatively simple with the Exitus platform, to get paid those commissions directly, to not have to worry about, waiting on payments, waiting on checks in the mail. And nothing's wrong with those things, but I wanna give you guys, or help you guys expand your mind, and also put yourself in a position where you can completely become the provider. And the first goal of that is, how do you put yourself in a position to really take care of yourself without being literally wiped out overnight? And I think a lot of people don't really think about these things. So let's just say you're a gig driver, right? You're a gig worker, and your battery goes out in your Kia Optima or your Toyota Camry, and you got to come up with $200-300 for a brand new battery of money that you absolutely do not have, right? Would that set you back? Right? Imagine you driving around, you're going through these neighborhoods, you're dealing with different people, picking up different people, et cetera, and you get a crack in your windshield for some reason. I'm throwing out real world scenarios because I want you guys to just think about how fragile your life potentially may be, right? These are some of the things that I actually realized when when I worked in what you would call so-called corporate America, or whatever like that. I had to really, this was many years ago. And as I've mentioned before, I've never had a bad job. I've always enjoyed what I've done. That's why I've always dominated. It didn't matter what niche, what industry, it didn't matter what I was doing. I absolutely have always dominated my fields. The only problem I ever had was how fragile everything was, They say that the higher the monkey climbs, the more his ass is exposed. And that can be translated to different things, different scenarios, different pathways in life, right? To where you just might get caught off guard. I speak with a lot of drivers all the time. There's an interesting thing going on, and not just the gig work economy, but there's an interesting transition or shift in mindsets, even in what you would call the so-called trucking space. A lot of people are just not happy. They're not happy because there's expenses that have popped up, or that will absolutely pop up, that nobody told them or warned them about, right? And it's so funny, when we're talking about network marketing or MLM or direct sales, whatever you want to call it, at the end of the day, everything in the world is network marketing. Everything in the world is MLM, guys. Everything is network marketing. Everything is network marketing. But it's interesting how, people will always say or come up with the fact that, oh, well, I haven't decided to start a business because there's extra expenses, or I don't, want to get involved in a home-based business because I got to pay this, I got to do that, I got to do that. Well, what are you talking about here? What are you talking about here? So if you become a gig driver or a gig worker, and you're driving your vehicle all day, there's no expenses, is your gas free? Is the maintenance on your car free, or your oil change is free? Right? Switching out your filters in your car because of all that wear and tear, are those free services? Are your tires free? Your car insurance or your vehicle automotive insurance free? Are all of these things free? Your car keep up, everything that can absolutely go wrong with you out here on the road and literally wipe you out overnight, right? So why am I talking about this? Why am I discussing this? I want you guys to understand that no matter what it is that you're doing, but if you're currently working in the gig economy, you have options. You have options, right? And you can utilize these options to learn, grow, develop. You don't have to stop what you're doing, but and one of the things that I teach my students, and I constantly, want to drive home, is the concept of preparedness, or being prepared for the absolutely worst thing that can happen. And most of you, even those that are watching this video, are absolutely not prepared. Let me ask you guys a question. If your battery were to fail in your automobile right now, do you have $200 in exposable cash to replace the battery? The statistics say no. The data says you absolutely do not. The data shows that most Americans, or most people that live in this country, we're talking about households here, don't have access to $800, $1,000 for an emergency situation. So the answer would be no. If your vehicle battery were to fail on you right now, do you have $200, $300 to replace that battery? How will you continue to drive or pick up groceries or delivers people's burritos or tacos and things like that, the McDonald's and things of that nature? How will you continue to do what you're doing if you have no backup plan, no reserve capital, no knowledge, no education? What if they shut off your platform? Shut off your access to your apps? What then will you do? This is why people love Exitus Elite, guys. One-time admin fee, lifetime membership, incredible knowledge, information, and personal development in the platform, incredible backend system, the technology we use. And I'm not even talking about, additional tools that you can use or things that you can add to the platform or to help you elevate your position in the platform, like our new AI Inviter. If you guys haven't checked that out, guys, I'm going to leave a link below this video. It's going to blow your mind. But I'm just talking about Exitus as a standalone system, everything that you get, even when you join at the G100 Genesis package, right? Which is an investment, a total investment of about $150, $49 admin fee, $100 goes direct payment to the sponsor at the G100 level. I can't think of a business on the planet, a digital platform, a business on the planet, a package on the planet, whatever you want to call it, that's going to give you more value than that. I just can't. I mean, does it exist? If it exists, put it down in the comments. I've been generating commissions with Exitus for years now, like clockwork, and we simply teach other people to do the same, right? We've only gotten better and better over time. We've helped more entrepreneurs over time come from all walks of life, right? People that even own brick and mortar businesses that didn't quite work out the way that they did, they feel out they've been duped. Guys, there's expenses to everything, but there's a way to position yourself to absolutely minimize those expenses, minimize your output, so that you have the time, the discipline, the tenacity, everything that you need to actually focus on income coming in. That's what it's all about, guys. It's creating more income coming in. How do you create more income without having all that overhead? A lot of you have gotten duped. A lot of you have absolutely gotten duped. I've heard people say, they won't get involved in a high ticket program, I hate the word program. I really do. I hate the word program. What we do over here at Exitus is a real business. It's a real business model with a real business strategy, with real payments being paid out, et cetera, et cetera. I hate the word program. I really do. Because if you're watching this video and you work a 9 to 5, that's the program. If you're watching this video and you're a driver all day long, you're a gig driver, an Uber, Lyft driver, whatever you want to call it, if you do these types of programs, then you're already involved in a program that's designed to keep you exactly where you're at, right? Have you ever noticed that no matter how many rides you do, no matter how much food you deliver, no matter how many issues you have to actually go out there and deal with in the real world, have you guys ever noticed that you can't seem to evolve or elevate over time? You actually made less money than you did last year because you have all these, unexpected expenses, What if your vehicle, your automobile were to completely break down? Would you have a source of income? Right? What would you do? Just a message I wanted to shoot out there for you guys. There are options, guys, and this industry is the best kept business secret in the world. I want you guys to do all of your research. I want you guys to give me a call and message me with your questions, because I want to help you guys put yourself in a position to become the provider. You have options. Your boss, these apps, your so-called best friend, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, all these individuals do not want you to know this information. They just don't, guys. How would your life change, or how would you be affected in your life if you were making an extra $500 a week, an extra $1,000 a week, an extra $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month? How will your life change? It'll completely transform. Everything changes. Just an extra $500 a month can transform your life. It can take you to that next pedestal to where you can begin to move and operate from there, and you just continue to grow and elevate. But it starts and ends with mindset, guys. I've been saying that for 2 decades. It's all about mindset. And understanding this, you put yourself in a position where you refuse to get trapped in the everyday mundane life of, what you call your average person, You'll be smiling more, to the bank. You'll be able to do more. You'll be able to build and create better quality relationships because you're simply working with better quality people. It seems like the older I get, the more, you appreciate the fact that we absolutely do have a class system in place, especially in this country. But it's something, you actually appreciate, right? Because it gives you, a sense of yearning. You want to belong with the better. You want to learn and grow from the better. You want to become better yourself in every single area of your life. That's why this industry is the most incredible industry in the world. It's able to transform people in just about every way, you can absolutely conceive of. I'm talking to my Exitus family here. I'm talking to my future Exitus elite family here. I'm talking to you, right? You have options. You have options. Can't wait to do part 2 of this video. See you guys on the next video. Take more action. Get around the positive. Stay away from the negative. Stay away from the complainers. Stay away from the looky-loos. Stay away from those that are stuck in analysis paralysis. There are people on this planet that you can give absolutely everything to, and they can't do anything with it because, again, it starts and ends with mindset. Yes. Right? Can't wait to see you guys on the next video. Let's go!